What are the functions of this muscle? Gabby here from Med School Bootcamp, and here we're looking at a dissection along the posterior aspect of the gluteal region. So to orient ourselves here first, let's identify some of the structures. Superiorly right over here, we can see this round area. This is going to represent the iliac crest on the ilium bone, so one of the bones that forms the pelvis. We could also see a very large nerve that exits in the gluteal region and travels distally to eventually enter the more posterior aspects of the thigh. And this nerve is going to be the sciatic nerve. So we know the sciatic nerve emerges in the gluteal region immediately inferior to the piriformis muscle, which we can see over here. We could also see some muscles such as the obturator internus right over here, as well as the gemellus, so the superior and the inferior gemellus. These muscles, along with the piriformis, all act as the primary lateral rotators of the thigh or of the femur. You could also see the three different gluteal muscles. We have the gluteus maximus, which is the largest and most superficial that has been reflected. We could also see the gluteus medius, which sits in the middle of the gluteal muscles, also reflected. And then lastly over here where our arrow is pointing is where we're going to have the last gluteal muscle and the smallest, so the gluteus minimus muscle that originates along the external surface of the ilium. So we can see it spanning pretty much the whole aspect of the ilium, and then would eventually travel to go ahead and insert along the anterior aspects of the greater trochanter of the femur. So the gluteal muscles all work together to help stabilize the pelvis, but also help with movements that are occurring at the hip joint. For example, our gluteus maximus muscle right over here, the largest gluteal muscle, is going to assist us with extension of the hip joint as well as lateral rotation of the hip joint. Now, the gluteus medius muscle and the gluteus minimus muscle are both going to work together to produce the same two actions. Both of these muscles are going to go ahead to insert along aspects of the greater trochanter of the femur. They're going to help us with medial rotation of the humerus as well as abduction of the thigh or of the humerus. That being said, we have the gluteus maximus and the piriformis muscle that is going to help us laterally rotate the thigh, versus the gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus are going to help us to medially rotate the thigh. So in this case, for our question, what is the function of the gluteus minimus muscle, is going to be abduction and internal rotation of the hip.